What's up, everybody? After a strong second weekend for James Gunn's Superman, we've got tons of DCU news and rumors, and most importantly, the writer of the newest Wonder Woman movie has been revealed. Let's dive in. Before we get to Wonder Woman, there's two spin-offs that aren't confirmed to be happening just yet, but this rumor does come from DCU Leaks, the subreddit page, which they've been very good with scoops and they have a great source for everything in the James Gunn, Peter Safran era of DC. So take this with a grain of salt as always with rumors, but I do believe both projects will indeed be a part of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. The first project would feature Eddie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific, and this very well could be focused on him and only him, but I think, and this is more so my speculation, it's definitely not a part of this scoop, but it has kind of been rumored in the past. I think it's going to be a project for the Terrifics team. Obviously, he's the leader of said team, so he'd be the focus of the series, as the rumor states. The team thing, that just more so builds on the Justice Gang from the movie. But with that being said, I don't think it's going to be the Justice Gang just renamed to the Terrific, so Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Metamorpho in the show. I had speculated that maybe, by the end of Superman, they'd ditch Maxwell Lord and just become the Terrifics, but it's not going to be the exact team from the comics either, the Terrifics team, as I predict the DCU Terrifics will be made up of Terrific, Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, and so very similar to the Justice Gang, but the final member will be Plastic Man. This will be the DCU project where we meet Patrick O'Brien, mark my words. Then the other project is a Jimmy Olsen series that's been in development for some time according to this report. It's said to be a crime anthology series focused on different DC villains, starring Skylar Gisondo. That, as much as I love Terrific and Eddie Gathegi's take on the character, sounds so damn cool, not only because Skylar was great as Jimmy Olsen, but because of the world building potential in the DCU with the villains. If you didn't know, Darkseid, yes, the Darkseid was introduced in a Jimmy Olsen comic, and I'm not saying that's going to happen in this show, that Gunn will introduce Darkseid into the DCU if it comes to be, but that's kind of, why it makes sense to me, why it passes my smell test. You could introduce villains like Toyman, Livewire, Inner Gang, the Ultra Humanite, and maybe, you even introduce Mercy Graves as a way to bring Lex back into the picture and out of Bel Rev by the end of this show, maybe, or even Peacemaker Season 2. Who knows? We'll see what Gunn's doing, but the point is, they could do so much for Metropolis and the villains of the DCU with a show like this. However, as I said at the beginning, the big news today, it's not about Jimmy Olsen or goddamn Mr. Terrific, it's about Wonder Woman and her new movie coming to the DCU, as Humberto Gonzalez broke the news that Ana Nogueira is set to write the first movie for the Amazonian princess in this new universe. She's already done two projects for Gunn's DCU, Supergirl, which we're less than a year away from seeing now, and Teen Titans, which should be casting soon-ish, unless it got shelved, and that's why I predicted this a month ago when Gunn said they were moving Wonder Woman up the priority list for the DCU. So it does seem it's as I thought. Gunn is a big fan of Anna's scripts, and before she was announced as a writer, he praised her iteration of the character of Diana as a very distinct and exciting take. Now, there's no news about who our new Wonder Woman will be. Of course, Gunn commented he loves Adria Arjona. He's worked with her in the past, so definitely boosts her chances, but nothing confirmed yet or when this movie will hit theaters. But based on Gunn's comments about that, I do think it's safe to say it'll be in theaters before the Paradise Lost show hits HBO Max. That's still happening, so we'll get some history there for the Themyscirans, but it's been a bumpy road for that show according to Gunn, so I think it's gonna go movie then show, just like Superman to Jimmy Olsen, but obviously it's a bit different. And so that's gonna do it for today's video. I think we've got more DCU news incoming very soon, specifically what Gunn's next project is, but let me know which of these three projects I just talked about excites you the most to make sure you have a great day.